God only be wanting us to be accountable. If we accountable and we do what? Hey, God, I screwed that one up. God is a forgiving God. He gives us grace. But what happens when we trying to hold on? Now we endure suffering longer than necessary. Remember what I said? You are fighting for your dream instead of gravitating to your calling. We gotta be willing to empty the cup. We gotta run out of ourselves. But the thing is, bro, this thing right here that we covered in, this is a greedy monster. And it has an endless appetite.
Yo, this is the third time, bro, you made me shit a tent. Today.
I think you just emotional.
No. Today. So, see,
we had a moment earlier.
I'm being serious with my dog, and now you got jokes. This is why I don't be trying to.
No, I'm saying, like, I'm thinking you going through something at the moment.
Just still, you need a word. You know what I'm saying? You be coming through with a word. Because, you know, they always say familiarity breeds contempt. I be like, my familiarity breeds respect, right?
For sure.
So as I'm hearing, I'm like, bro, I separate like, dog, that's the word I be needing.
Yeah. You hit me today with that.
Yeah,
you hit
that
me today
thing.
with that.
Right
Not
on
today,
time.
I'm not gonna lie, today, bro, so I said something, bro. I was, bro, like this weekend was a good, you ever have some weekends where like, not even just weekends, but moments where you just be like, I know I do, where I just be like, talking to God. It's something about, I might pray 5, 6, 7, 8 times that day. Like my spirit just be like, God, I need you right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be, so I'm gonna tell you what I listen to. So let me tell you this. I'm gonna just say it. When I really need to hear from God, and I need to understand this, watch this. When I really need to understand how God works. This about to be, people about to go crazy when I say this, because they're gonna be like, what? When I need to understand how God works and how he works in a black man, I listen to Farrakhan.
Okay.
I listen to Farrakhan.
Okay.
But me and my partners got a saying. You gotta listen to Bowtie Farrakhan.
What's the difference?
Bowtie Farrakhan is the younger version of Farrakhan with the bow tie. He out his top. My 3 favorite sermons is Only God Can Make a Man. The next one is The Mind of God. And the third one is The Knowledge of God.
Crazy. Trifecta.
Bro, I'm talking about, I will listen to them and just feel like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. Because he speaks from a perspective of just the power of God. And how he has designed a black man. And say, bro, I was listening to him all weekend, bro, and he said something that's where the message came from this morning.
So
it didn't come from that, but what happens
something
is,
just came up. Yeah.
What happens is when you listening for God and you listening to somebody who you feel is really articulating the message the way you need to hear it, it opens you up to something. Right? It opens you up to something. And so, and I can't think of which one it is, he was talking about how, he said something that made me laugh so hard. He said, now Jesus is God's main man. Right? He said, that's his main man. And I like when he do that because he get into this little hip kind of like, he switched from like the minister to try to be like, now he's God, that's his main man. He said, and then Romans was all in his mouth. And bro, I just bust out laughing because I pictured Christ getting whipped by the Romans. And he said, God said, Get up, boy. I'm with you. Just like that. Get up, boy. I'm with you. I ain't going nowhere. And bro, when he said that to me, I said, yo. And that's when I had this thought that I talked about this morning. And for people that didn't catch it, and I had to call somebody to see that, make sure I wasn't wrong. So the perspective was this. So I want you to listen to this, right? Here's my perspective. The only way you can believe this, the only way that you can rock with me on this, you may not rock with me on it, but the only way you can rock with me on this is if you believe that Christ was God wrapped in flesh. It's the only way you can rock with me. If you don't believe that, then you're not going to understand what I'm saying. So my perspective when he said that came from this. If Christ is God wrapped in flesh, hear me, and we say that God is all-knowing, right? If we say that God is all-knowing, then God already knew what was going to happen to Christ on the cross, right or wrong, all right? We also know that, just bear with me here, we also know that, and again, this is just my interpretation of it, we also know that it took for God to come be wrapped in flesh to experience what man felt on earth.
Yep.
Because as God, he didn't know what, he like, hey, they tripping. I know what I created. They tripping. And there was even a moment in time where he said, you know what? I shouldn't have made y'all. Right? That ain't me. That's what the word said. But then he comes in the form of Christ. He knows what the end is going to be. But the persecution got so bad, the physical version of God had to tell the spiritual version of God, take this cup from me. Because the flesh is not an easy vessel to experience. You feel me? So it made me think, like, wait, hold up. We get so caught up on the mistakes we make. We get so hung up on falling short. When God, in the physical, had to tell God in the spiritual, hey, take this from me right quick. But then, this is the most important part, he came to himself and said, not my will, thy will. Which means he surrendered. What you about to say?
I was just saying that's the opening moment that you're talking about that you got to dump yourself out.
That's it. That's it. So the moment, so it's just so, and I don't really even get, because that ain't what we're here for, but it was just, that's what happened to me when I'm listening to Farrakhan speak, and he was like, them Romans was all in Jesus' mouth. And then he said, as black men, you know what it's like to get beat up by the police, because that's all he was the police. And then he says, God tells Jesus, get up, boy, I'm with you. It's gonna be all right. And just the way he said it, I was like, damn, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
If we believe that God is Christ in the flesh, then even in that moment, God had to say to himself, hey, go on, take this from me right quick. There's too much. He had never been a flesh. He was always supreme being. He always was. But when he felt the flesh, for that brief moment, he wanted to take the cup. Now watch this. This was the dope part about it. Jesus prayed that prayer 3 times.
Yep.
So even before he prayed it in Gethsemane. So even before he even went and got on the cross, got to it, I don't want to deal with that. I'm saying all that to say this. And again, agree with me. I'm not tripping on that. I make mistakes. If it's not perfect, I get it. I'm not a pastor.
Right.
It's just my interpretation.
There's a message in there.
But here's what I get, though.
Yeah.
As human beings, we don't have the opportunity to say, I'm going to let that version of me take the cup, but I'm going to let this version. What we got to be willing to say is, you know what? I'm going to just surrender the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Run out of me.
Running out of me. As long as we got an inkling of us left in there, which brung me, okay, this is a stock show, but see, now you got me here. You should have did that.
Hey.
So, which also brings us to this situation, Jose. God only be wanting us to be accountable. If we accountable and we do what? Hey, God, I screwed that one up. God is a forgiving God. He gives us grace. But what happens when we trying to hold on? Now we endure suffering longer than necessary. Remember what I said? You are fighting for your dream instead of gravitating to your calling. Prime example, Saul. I told you, kill everything. You said, there's a few things that I won't keep. Samuel says, what are you doing? Saul says, it's a few things I won't keep. Samuel says, you're out of your mind. Saul says, it's a few things I won't keep. It ain't no big deal. God says, hey, get him out of here. Samuel can't do nothing about that. Watch this. So now Saul is holding on to the itty bitty parts of him that ain't worth his destiny. The one thing we learn about God is he will separate himself from insubordination.
Two things can't hold the same place at the same time.
Because now it's too much of you.
Yeah.
And it ain't enough of me. And as long as you got too much of you, I can't fit. We saw it again when? Adam. I created all this for you, dog. I got you. But you know what? You're not supposed to be here by yourself. So guess what? I got you. I got something for you. Guess what happens? She bug out. That's cool. He go to Adam. What Adam say? Man, you created that for me. I ain't create that.
You brought it to me.
What? No. I didn't create her. You created her. I didn't even tell you I wanted her. No accountability. Eve, what's up? Hey, I was seduced by the serpent. Wait, what? Okay, guess what? I gotta create a barrier. I'm not gonna do all the will with you, but I don't got room. And so we see it time and time again. So we gotta be willing to empty the cup. We gotta run out of ourselves. But the thing is, bro, this thing right here that we covered in, this is a greedy monster. This is a greedy monster. And it has an endless appetite. And here's the thing about each and every one of us. Whatever we feed, we grow.